Hey y'all, here I am again with another story. So, here we go. How do I begin? This story is about an angel encounter that I had when I was like 4 years old back in 1979, right before my little brother was born. And we lived in a house in Altadena, California. And we were on 2096 Marengo and Woodbury Road. If you know Altadena, you know exactly where this is. This is close to the Mountain View Mortuary Cemetery. And there was a lot of weird activity in this house. I'm going to just get right over to, this story might not be as long as my last story. Thank you guys for watching my last story. I just want to put that in there. So yes, in this house, we pretty much had 2 bedrooms. My bedroom was in the front part, right through a hallway, and my mom's room was right down the hallway from it. So my mom had this thing she did. She would tuck me in at night, and I had a nightlight because I was a scary kid. And so my mom that night, I guess she was really exhausted. My mom was pregnant with my brother. You know, my brother was almost due. I'm saying this was probably around like March of 1979. And so I'm thinking my mom was probably tired. She was almost due with my brother. And so she said she would come tuck me in, give me a kiss. Sometimes she would read me my Dr. Seuss books that I love to hear. And so this particular night, my mom did not come to my room, but I got another visitor to my room, which I'm going to explain to you right now. This other visitor came in, and when I saw the shadow, I'm thinking I'm half asleep, half awake, but not really asleep because I'm still waiting for my mom in some way, but kind of groggy and out of it a little bit too. And all of a sudden, I see some shadow coming across the floor, and I get scared, and I know it's not my mom. So I grab the covers and I put them over my head. And I'm holding the covers all tight, and I'm closing my eyes really, really tight, and I'm really, really scared. So all of a sudden, I felt like wind on me. And when I opened my eyes, the covers were not in my hand. They were basically down at the foot of the bed. And when I looked up, I seen, and I get chills from this every time I tell this story, a huge being with translucent looking skin. And it was like almost see-through. And it had wings, and it had a bunch of eyes all over the wings, and it had these huge eyes in the face, and it was pretty much looking at me, and I was looking at it, but I couldn't move. Same paralysis thing happening, but not so intense as the alien encounter. This was more like a soothing, warm type of energy. And I seen it didn't really have a mouth, and it had like the communication coming through the eyes, and I couldn't take my eyes off of it. I just stared at it, and I was just like, so I heard my heart was beating, and I could hear my heart beating in my head, and I was like, oh my goodness, what is this like? But I'm fascinated with it because I'm a kid who liked the stories like Never-Ending Story and The Dark Crystal and stuff like that. So this was really mystical to me and fascinating, but scary at the same time. So at the same time, I'm feeling like this thing is exuding love to me, and I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know where this came from. It just came out of nowhere. But long story short, I'm finally released. And then I'm able to sit all the way up in the bed. And when I looked at the sky, I remember this particular night, it was a full moon. And I could see it with all its glory flying across the full moon. I know that sounds crazy, like some type of movie or something like that, but it was epic like a movie. And I seen it fly across the sky, and it just like faded out. And then I ran down the hall and I busted my mom's room. And I remember my mom was asleep, my mom and dad. And I was like, Mommy, 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 Mommy. Mom and dad woke up and Mom was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I was like, Mom, I seen something in my room. And I started to explain it to my mom. And my mom was like, that's an angel. That was an angel. A biblically accurate angel with all those eyes everywhere. And I was just like, wow. I had an encounter with a biblically accurate angel at age 4. And so I recall quite a few years later, 1986, I'm like 11 years old, and it's around August. So I'm going on 12 in November of that year. But anyhow, the same house had a beautiful divine incident happened in this home where 2 elderly people lived there, and their name was the Pierces. And there's actually a LA Times article on this where my room had been converted to a bathroom. And this bathroom had a mysterious cross just appear in the window out of nowhere, where no one could explain where it came from. And so the granddaughter had came and told the grandparents, there's something in the window that looks like a cross. And they looked at it and they analyzed it, and then they told some people, word of mouth got out, and everybody started coming. People wanted to study it and see how it was happening. It was unexplainable why that cross was there. And so at that time, the word of mouth spread really fast, and people started coming to the house to see this cross in this window where my room used to be situated, where I had the angel encounter experience. And I had to go see it. So my grandma took me to go see it, and I saw it, and I could feel the energy. Like, this is the same energy that angel gave me when I was in my bedroom back in 1979. And that space has some type of energy with it that is a very, very mystical and very spiritual and very filled with God and light. And so I felt very grateful that my grandmother took me to see that cross, and I felt like I needed to see it. But I felt like that whole transferal between me and the angel and the love gave me something. It gave me an empathic spirit. It gave me unconditional love. And it gave me a sense of knowing that there is something other than just us there, and that the Most High is real. And so I was fascinated with the story for so many years, but what I took away with it is that after that I had the gift of discernment, and I was able to actually see things that I wasn't able to see before, and also predict things that I was not able to predict before, and dreams that came true. And so I had this whole experience for a reason. But I don't share this part of myself with anybody, because people think, something's wrong with you, or you dang on psychic, it's demonic and all that stuff like that. But I'm not a believer in all of that. I believe that Most High gives gifts to everyone, and he gives them to who can handle it. And if you don't believe, you don't have to, but I do, because my experience was my experience, and I know that it was real. But I just wanted to share that with you. I will see if I can paste the article that you can read to this day in the LA Times, from where the people went to go see the cross in the window of my old bedroom that got converted into a bathroom. And I thank you for listening to my stories. I will come with more stories. The next one I think is going to be a little more on the creepy side. This one was a little softer, but I have some really tough stories to tell. But I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thank you for listening. I love you guys. You guys just be safe. No, angels are real. Know they're watching over you. Bye.